I'm going to tell you everything you want to know about Jennifer Pan. So here's where it gets weird, though. You know, the police are like, why did these people target your house? The police are like, here we go.
We need answers.
Here's Dad's account. Are y'all ready for this? Because this is crazy. He said, I went to bed about 8:30. A man woke me up with a gun. We are back.
Episode
33. Let's
That's
go.
so crazy.
33?
33.
And me? I mean, that's a, what is that? That's the, is that the blood test thing?
It's like,
Or the
is
DNA?
it 23?
The 23. 23 and me.
Right, though. I think
I know.
something like that, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. 23 and me, the DNA. I don't know. That kind of makes me a little
23andMe.
nervous. The DNA stuff.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, with stuff like that, to me, like, it just never really, like, I'm never worried about myself.
I'm not either.
Always like,
I'm not either.
just like how,
Exactly.
I'm like, if they're getting everyone's information, like, what's so special about just mine, you know?
I heard that
That's
they've
kinda
tracked
how I
down
feel,
some, tracked down some people. I think.
Yeah, that's why I feel like, I don't know, but I'm also kind of like too naive sometimes about stuff, so.
Government, man.
Yeah, like I feel like I like kind of sometimes I just.
Banning TikTok on us,
Yeah,
too.
like that also, like I don't know if I'm just being
No, that's freedom of
naive,
speech.
but like I just feel like TikTok isn't going anywhere.
That's freedom of speech.
I don't know, not like that, like I just feel like
Shouldn't.
TikTok isn't going anywhere because they say this every year.
They
And
do.
so,
They do. This one's pretty serious. But man, you talk about a scary bill. I don't think people understand what's actually in that bill. That bill is, I mean, it is wild what's in it. Y'all need to do some research on that because anything that's hooked to Wi-Fi, they can connect right in.
That is crazy.
Listen in, watching.
But like, then I'm like, at least I don't know. I'm just like, at least they do it to everybody, you know, like not just us.
It is everybody, but I'm saying, what kind
It's
of country
like
are we
not good,
becoming
I know,
here?
but I'm
You know,
like that's how I always just make myself feel better about it.
and they can't control the narrative. That's why they
Yeah.
want it. You know, they control Fox, CNN, all the
Yeah.
news sources. They can control all that.
But TikTok, like, there's actually like, every single type of person you can.
It's where you get the real news.
Yeah,
you want the real
can
stuff.
Literally hear. I mean, and you'll hear a bunch of fake stuff. You can.
You
literally
will
just
absolutely,
hear
absolutely,
anything,
no doubt about
and
it.
everything you want. But
No doubt about it.
yeah, but there's just like no other. I don't know. TikTok is just I feel like different than any other app.
It is.
Like
It
I
is.
don't want to post TikToks on. Like I don't want to post reels like on my Instagram. Like I like to keep my Instagram like.
Keep it clean.
cute,
This,
yeah.
that. My platform's
But
different,
it's different.
though.
I feel
want
like
to get
also
the message.
people who
Yeah.
are like influencers or like, cause I'm not, like I have like a following, but I'm not an influencer. Like I don't post my own videos really, you know, and like talk on my own. But I feel like if you are an influencer, then yeah, posting your reels is smart, and I would too.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, that's where it's at because we got people everywhere. So I want to keep people informed of all of my stuff. So yeah, if TikTok does go down, it's okay.
Still
We're
be
everywhere.
podcasting and
Yeah, the podcast is still here to stay.
Maybe we
They
can
can't
make
take this
some-
away.
yeah,
We can
maybe we
freedom of
can make
speech,
some-
everything in here. I
some
guess
more
until they,
YouTube videos eventually, maybe
yeah, all that.
we could if
We're
TikTok
good.
goes away. Yeah,
We're good either or.
I mean not really, but like we're good, but I just don't want to lose TikTok.
No, I don't want to lose TikTok.
just sad
TikTok
because
is.
TikTok is just
I'm
the
so
most
thankful for TikTok
entertaining,
because
yeah.
TikTok gave us our start.
Yeah.
TikTok,
Like Instagram, I don't know, Snap. Like they could have taken away Snapchat. They should have taken away Facebook. I feel like. No.
they still it's USA owned.
No, I know, but
so,
I'm just saying, like out of
you
everything,
know,
like that's what I'd rather than.
Zucker still got the
Like, you can take
he's
the Facebook. I like always wonder if whenever like my generation's older, if we're ever gonna make a switch to Facebook. I feel like we're gonna stay on Instagram though.
yeah. I feel like it.
But I'm like curious.
But man, we got. I could talk about this TikTok ban forever.
I know.
Golly, I am. I
Still have to talk about Life 360.
yes. But first, this is Talking Back.
Powered by Life 360.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Drew.
And speaking of, powered by Life 360. Last night, we never have to make these up.
Nope. We always
They're the
have
real
some
deal.
Life 360 stories.
Yeah, you got to go to a friend's birthday party, a couple hours away,
Yeah.
which always makes me nervous. As a dad, I don't care who you are. I mean, you know, even if Lindsay drives a couple hours away at night, I get a little nervous.
Right.
But it's so nice to see that, you know, man. I mean, we can still get a phone call or a text, but even if I just want to see you moving, you know, I can click on you, I can see you moving, and there's nothing, because I don't track you guys or anything like that, but on long trips and stuff, you know, I like to see you guys moving. I like to see what's going. I like to see
We're
that
on
movement,
the
because if you're
road.
moving,
Yeah, we're good.
you're good. You're good. But
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. Just a little peace
so
of
nice.
mind, yeah.
I see you get there, and then, you know, I know you're driving back that night too. So it's always nice to see Drew made it home safely.
Yes.
Love it. Download Life 360. We say it every week.
Literally
It's
gives
free.
you a peace of mind. Free peace of mind.
Free peace of mind right there. Let's get into this, because this is a mind-blowing case. Jennifer Pan. Y'all heard of Jennifer Pan? You heard of Jennifer Pan?
Yeah, very vaguely. Like, I only know, like, the vague story.
It is wild. Wild. I mean, Jennifer, what? I mean, golly. There's a Netflix special out on it right now. So if you want to catch that, if you want to just do some research, or if you just want to listen right here, I'm going to tell you
Hear the
everything you
story
want to
here.
know. Did I say that right? Sound like everything you want to know about Jennifer Pan.
We came prepared this time, so we won't, or can't even say we won't for sure, but hopefully we won't mix up any names this time.
I know, right?
Last time we did one about the brothers.
Menendez brother.
We were calling them both, like, we started calling one of them.
I know, I got one of them right. But
Like
the other
Eric,
one,
and then whatever the other one
Yeah.
was, we started calling him something else.
something else, and it's like, what in the world did I just call
Like,
him?
where did we get that from?
I think I called him Alex.
Yeah, I think so.
I was called
Okay,
Alex.
yeah,
Edits
editor,
our
yes.
podcast. Phenomenal editor, by the way.
So we started calling the guy in the story our editor's name last time.
So, anyways, Jennifer. Okay, so we're gonna. I mean, this happened several years ago. Probably, I don't know the exact years. So, I mean, but probably in the 2000. I think the original trial was back in 2018, maybe 2019, somewhere around there. Or at least that's when it all started going down. So it's not that long ago. It's fairly recent. But Jennifer Pan. So here's how it starts out. Mom goes out dancing one night.
Okay.
Mom gets home about 9:30 at night.
Is the family just mom, dad, and Jennifer?
Mom, Dad, and Jennifer.
Okay.
That's it. So Dad goes to bed early. He's in bed about 8:30. I guess about 9:30, three people come into the house. And one of them comes upstairs to Jennifer, ties her hands up. And then, so she hears yelling downstairs.
Wait, is the mom back home?
Mom is back home from dancing. So that's who she hears, I think, yelling, going back and forth with. As well as one of them was up getting Dad out of the bed and bringing him downstairs. So they're marching Jennifer downstairs. And at that point in time, they're looking for money. She said, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Jennifer's mom doesn't necessarily speak great English. They are of Asian descent, I believe it is. Their last name is Pan, P-A-N-N. Mom is Han, or Dad is Han, H-A-N-N, and Mom is Bish. I don't know exactly how to, it's B-I-C-H. So I don't know how to, Bish. And I do not want to disrespect her name by any means whatsoever, so I don't know how to pronounce that. So it's spelled B-I-C-H, Han. So anyways, mom is yelling, we don't have money. She's trying to understand. Jennifer is marched back upstairs, supposedly, and tied to the stair banister. So you know what the banister is?
No. Honestly, I was like, wait, I don't know.
Kind of like, I mean, you don't see many banisters except in kind of probably a little bit older houses.
Right.
But it's going up the staircase, and it's like a knob on the staircase, like the rails that you hold up there, something that you could tie her to right there.
Yeah,
It's
I
kind
know
of
what
what I
you're talking
picture
about.
in
Just
my
like those
head.
little like bulbs at the top.
Bulbs at
like
the top
circles,
is exactly what I picture.
I got it.
So they say they tie her to that, and all of a sudden she says in her words, she hears, pop, pop, pop. And she knows immediately, they've probably shot mom and dad. They leave. Jennifer calls 911. The 911 call, Jennifer's like, 3 people broke in. I'm tied up. And so cops show up. Mom has been, unalived. Dad is not unalive, but he is shot in the eye, which basically between the eye and the nose, they said, and so he is put in an induced coma.
Okay.
So the doctors have him. They do
so
not expect him to live because, shot to the head, basically.
Yeah.
Don't expect him to live. So obviously they bring in Jennifer. What in the world happened? She recounts all this story. And so here's where it gets weird, though. And this all happened in Canada. A place called Markham, Canada, is where we're at. So it's kind of like, why? The police are like, why did these people target your house?
Yeah.
First of all, this is a nice, peaceful place. Did y'all have a lot of money? Jennifer's like, no, we didn't have a lot of money. What is it? Maybe, and the police are even thinking maybe they got the wrong house,
Yeah,
just
thinking like, why would they target this house out of any?
Exactly.
For what reason?
Exactly. So, and all these people, they're interviewing everybody in the neighborhood, in the community, and they're like, man, the pans were so nice, hands so nice, Biche so nice.
Who would want to come after?
Who would
this
want to come after
family?
them?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And so in this interview, just everybody's like, they're just an amazing,
Just like they're just left question, just like why?
Yeah,
Kind of.
like why?
Just made no sense. Yeah.
So they finally get a break in this case, and there's a guy named Danny Wong that comes into play, and he is a drug dealer. So, and now I should say former drug dealer, according to everything that's I know about Danny, because he was convicted of let's see, he was convicted of trafficking and possession. So he had drugs and he was selling drugs, basically. But he says once that happened, hey, it's I didn't do anything else. But obviously they're going to bring this guy in because they've seen a little connection.
Yeah.
Seen a little connection. And so the police is like, we got our guy. Because him and Jennifer, they had been in a relationship.
Interesting.
For 7 years.
Oh.
7 years. That's a long time to be in a relationship.
And wait, what made him a suspect?
Because they had started doing research. They had found out that they had arrested this guy, Danny Wong, and so I guess at the time when they arrested or something like that,
he was linked
she
to
was
them?
kind of linked to him, and so they're like, okay, this is maybe, this is a drug thing. He wanted some easy, fast cash, but here's what the deal is too. Everything at the scene, Dad still had cash in his wallet. There were watches, jewelry. There was a nice camera. There were things sitting in places. So if they wanted money, they
would have grabbed it right
They would have grabbed that stuff. So again,
it's like it wasn't about money. It wasn't about robbing them. Then it's like, what was the
police are scratching their head
reasoning?
On this.
Yeah.
Like what is really going on here?
None of this, no money. They don't have any reason to be targeted.
Yep.
Kind of strange.
So he's like, hey man, I was sleeping when all this went on. I wasn't I was at my house asleep. And he also claims to have a new girlfriend now. So he's not even dating Jennifer anymore.
Okay.
He's dating this girl named Christine. Now here's the funny thing too. He also claims that him and Jennifer, so Christine is the current girlfriend.
Okay.
Jennifer is the ex-girlfriend whose parents have just been, dad's been shot, mom's been, unalived. So, so what we have now is Danny saying that Jennifer and him are getting harassing phone calls and harassing text messages.
Wait, who?
Jennifer and Danny.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer and Danny. Are you following?
Yeah.
Got it? Okay. So one of the text messages says, ha, 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 bang, bang, bang. And this is a week before the murders happened to Danny's phone. Ha, 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 bang, bang, bang. The police ask him, do you think this has anything to do with what happened to Jennifer's parents?
Yeah.
He said, man, I'm like 95% sure, which that's such a weird answer. I'm 90 to 95% sure that it does not have anything to do with what happened to Jennifer's parents. Now, if I'm sitting there and I dealt drugs in my past, and Jennifer was an ex of mine, and her parents had just gotten murdered, and I'm sitting in the police station, you know, I'm not just sitting there as just some kind of witness to what, I mean, I'm sitting there, thinking I'm being interrogated.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And I got a text message on my phone that said, ha, 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 bang, bang, bang. I'm going to say maybe there's a chance, because the police found that very odd.
Yeah.
Like, why would somebody text that to you? Why would they say that to
random.
you?
Yeah. And if you don't know who it is and you don't know who sent it either.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. Like, there's just so many unanswered questions. That's like, what?
Makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah. Nothing's really adding up yet.
No, not at all. So, so here we are, and this was like a week late. A week later, Jennifer's parents get murdered.
Okay.
Or the mom does.
So they got the text sent, and then a week later.
All this happens.
Okay.
All this happens. Detectives just didn't feel right about this. You know, something is off here. Yeah, why would they not? So of course, we're gonna go back to Jennifer now. So we're gonna bring Jennifer back in for a second interview. So rightly so. I would think.
Yeah.
So they're bringing Jennifer for some really hard questions this time. First time, you're just like,
she's in shock.
They've brought in. I want to bring this up too. The Canada Police, Markham City. This is how it should be done. You know, we've talked about the John Bonet case.
Oh yeah, it was not handled correctly at all, and very unfair.
Yeah. This is how you handle a murder case right here. Markham Police, fantastic job going on, because they're on it. They're getting it. So they brought in a trauma police lady that deals in trauma, and she can see, she's feeling for this girl. She sees her going through a struggle, and so they got her there just, in the back, just to be there, and I appreciate that. That's pretty cool.
Just like
of them to do that. So when they bring Jennifer in, and when you saw her on camera, I mean, her hands, let me set my mic down. They're going like this. I mean, she is so nervous.
But I feel like anyone would be anxious in that situation.
Exactly.
But it's like you have to look, is it like coming in like
But I'm watching her body language.
Body language, or like mourning.
And exactly.
Body language.
And
so both maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
But
so whole thing's so confusing. So confusing. And again, nothing was stolen.
Yeah, so it's like
nothing was stolen.
I feel like that's a big red flag, yeah. Why? If this is a burglary or. So
now here's the cool thing too. Police footage. They finally got across the street. Some people had cameras, and here's the crazy thing. They see 3 guys go in that house at 9:30. But the weird thing about it. Now they asked Jennifer. They said, "Did you hear any breaking of glass?" And this was in the first interview. Did you hear them kick the door in? Did they hear it? And she said no. And you watch those 3 guys walk in that house. Just walked in it.
Oh, so the
9:30 at night.
Door was just unlocked?
Door was unlocked.
That's kind of
They know they can just walk in the house, It's like, what?
Yeah, like without questioning. I feel like...
Absolutely.
Because I feel like normally, even if my hair is like getting crazy. Oh. I feel like even if you're going to like rob someone's house, like you would be fully like prepared. Like if you do this, and you're going to random houses, like you probably just wouldn't try the front door,
Yeah, how am I going to know I'm just going to walk in a front door at 9:30? That makes no
Like, I
sense.
don't think anyone would really just assume that. Like, that definitely seems a little
Little off.
sus.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay, this is just not working. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to fix my head.
fix your
right
hair.
I'm trying to fix
It's pretty
it.
good on my side. I
Well,
like it.
it's just gonna be good enough.
There it is. Good enough. Looks great.
Thank you.
Speaking of hair, you did my hair
Oh,
today.
I did do his hair today. I don't know if you guys can tell.
I don't know if y'all can see the hair. The
super
hair got
bright
did
and
today,
white,
but
and
I'm liking
lifted
it.
good. A
Love
little
it. Love
bleach
it.
and tone for him.
Love it. So, all right. So Jennifer, how cool is it that my daughter gets to do my hair? That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thanks for letting me
Love
do
it.
it. I
love
it.
it. Heck yeah. So here's an interesting tidbit now. So remember her and Danny dated for 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Parents, that was behind their back.
Okay, so they never knew.
Parents told her to not date this boy because he was a drug dealer. He was not going anywhere in life. Was not good enough for their daughter.
Yeah.
What parents, would be cool with their kids dating a drug dealer?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's not many
I don't
parents
think
out there.
I feel like just out of wanting what's best for your kid, it's just probably not what you want to hear.
Exactly. So now,
And like their background, did they have a good like growing up, happy like home life?
apparently, and they had moved to Canada from they came from Vietnam, I think is where they came from, Vietnam to Canada,
Okay.
to Markham, Canada. So to have some more,
But they were a pretty normal, happy family.
yeah. Nobody said anything. There was nothing to suggest any
concerning
otherwise
or
concerning
anything,
at
yeah.
all. Not at all. So, but we're going to get into some interesting facts, though, that Jennifer is going to bring up to us. So she's thinking all of this could be Christine now because she's putting it together. And remember, Christine is dating Danny now. That's the current girlfriend. And she thinks that's who's sending these crazy messages because her phone will go off. Danny's phone goes off, according to her.
Yeah.
And so she's like, but why a current girlfriend is, trying to prank her own boyfriend?
Yeah, and
why would she
make her own relationship weird and twisted?
Exactly. So the parents are thinking, okay, we're starting to see some sort of little love triangle here between Danny, Christine, and Jennifer now. So they're like, but how did the parents get involved in this love triangle?
Yeah.
Where did they come in to this other than, Dad did make her at one time say, hey, you need to choose between me or Danny. It's me or Danny. You have to make a choice. And she said, I chose my parents. I chose to stay at my parents and I chose to be with my parents. So that was cool. Now, her parents didn't trust her because they caught her dating him again. Okay. So they took her phone and now they have said, you can't drive yourself anywhere. We drive you everywhere you go.
How old was she?
Old enough to be in college.
Oh, so that's a little excessive
it's
for
excessive.
The parents, though. Yeah, definitely.
I see their concern.
No, yeah, because you're obviously going to be concerned. You want to keep your kids like in a safe situation, but
at the same time,
if they're 18, you can't
do that.
You can't do it. Like you have to just help and hope and pray they'll be smarter, I guess.
Yep, exactly.
And like help them out and obviously keep them safe, but there definitely was better ways to go about that situation than I feel like just treating them like a kid and like grounding them almost.
Exactly. So get this. So Dad wanted her to be. Dad knew she wasn't cut out to be. She wanted her to be a doctor. Dad wanted her to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty typical for this high school that they went to because if you went to this high school, they had some guy that went to this high school interviewed on there also, and he said if you go to this high school, look, you're expected to be a doctor, a lawyer, maybe an accountant or something like that. And he was kind of laughing, but these are top of the line things. So, but Dad said he knew that she was kind of a little squeamish with like the blood and stuff like that. So he's like, she probably wasn't be cut out for that, but you need to be a pharmacist. So there are expectations, and I think that's the culture that it comes from coming from Vietnam. I think there's just a different culture of family expectations.
Yeah. Which I feel
not
like in
saying
different parts
that's
of the world, like that just is.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's fair, unfair.
Like that one place we were in California, I remember like somebody was telling me in like California, like everyone there in their class, like they were just expected to grow up and like start their own business or invent something or something like that.
Exactly.
Where I went to school. You're not like you can do whatever.
Man, you just make it out. Yeah. We just make it out,
you just
boys.
Hope you hope you make it out of there. I guess.
That's it. So different strokes for different folks, I guess, as they say. But so there was high expectations on her. Yeah. But she wanted to be a kinesiologist. And like I said, Dad was like, no, pharmacy, that's not even good enough. I need you a pharmacist. So it's like, okay, so she decides to go to university in Toronto. Mm-hmm. And of course, Dad's going to drive her because she can't drive herself. So get this. She did not go to school for pharmacy, but she told her dad she was going to go to school for science. And she told her mom, everybody, she's going to school for science. She wasn't doing anything for 4 years. She had her parents drive her to university, drop her off. She didn't go to school one day. Not one day. Lied to her parents for 4 years. Now think about this. What are you doing?
Yeah, what is she doing every day?
What are you doing for 4 years? Now, get
every
this.
Day? That's crazy.
She went on to forge and she's telling them this info. Okay, there's some lies that I've told my parents. She forged a diploma from the University of Toronto.
That's crazy. How do you even...
I'm thinking, first of all, you've obviously got some smarts. If you're full, because you know your parents are pretty smart. You know these people are pretty smart. 4 years you pulled that off. She said she made fake report cards. She made fake student loans. I mean, she's done it all.
In 4 years, though, and she did nothing, though, with her time?
Nothing. I mean, she was doing something. Now, that's what the police want to know, too.
Benefiting her future at all.
Hey, man, what the heck are you doing for these 4 years? Yeah. That you're getting dropped off at university and...
Maybe, hopefully she had, like, a secret job.
Can you imagine had she have just gone to university or done something?
Because were her parents, like, the ones paying for it, or does anyone know?
Yep.
Or, like, they would have?
Yep.
Did they not realize they weren't really paying for it or anything?
Well, so that's coming.
Okay.
That's coming. Now, here's the deal, too. Now, the 911 call. Here's what we want to know, the police. Think about this. You're tied to a banister. Remember that. You're tied to that banister, and your hands were tied by... Now, supposedly, when the guys walked in, they immediately... Oh, dogs are going crazy.
They are going crazy.
When the robbers walk in, one of them went up and immediately went to her room, tied her hands behind her back, walked her down, saw the conflict with her mom. They walk her back up to the banister, and that's when they tied her to the banister too. So she's saying one of our arms is tied to the banister, both of her hands are tied behind their back. So the police are like, how in the world did you make a phone call to us? Mm-hmm. Good question, right? So they make her stand up and show them how she did this. And the trauma cop is back here kind of going, this is tough. This is hard to watch for me because for her to have to relive this trauma, that's pretty hard, hardcore, But granted, it had to be done.
Yeah,
because it's a fair question. How did you do it? She stands up and she shows how she reached the phone in her back pocket and pulled her arm over like this. I don't know if y'all can see me or not, but she pulls it over and she has to dial it from down here. So she turns the volume all the way up. And if it's quiet in the house, you can hear a volume. You don't even have to put it on speaker. So that's what she claims happened on the 911 call. So, okay. All right.
It works. It could work.
So now here's the deal too. Here's the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Why do you leave a witness alive? You've killed 2 people. You think you've killed 2 people. Why do you leave her?
Why were you said
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's very odd because I had no problems unaliving these 2. Why am I going to just leave her like that?
Yeah.
So now here's what she says too. Get back to this. So she has said she's told her parents that she graduated in 2 years. I don't know how this has all come back, but she lied to them. She went back to them and she said, "Okay, look, I'm sorry, but I did all this in 2 years. I've graduated." She's got her diploma that she made. But so now dad has came back to her and said, I need my money back for a 4-year then. If you did it in 2 years, I'm going to need my extra 2 years money back.
Yeah.
You know? So we got 2 years. Dad wants his money back. Now, let's get to the present. Guess who wakes up from a coma?
Dad.
Dad has woken up from a coma.
Okay.
He is, thank goodness this happens.
Yeah.
Because the police are like, here we
Oh,
go.
we need answers.
Here we go. So they go to dad. Doctors say he's okay. So police go down there. They take a statement from him. Here's dad's account. Are y'all ready for this? Because this is crazy. He said, I went to bed about 8:30. A man woke me up with a gun. Says, come downstairs. Says he was pistol whipped on the couch. So that means he was beating the head, basically, with the gun. He says, now, here we go. He says, here comes my daughter walking down the stairs, laughing and having a friendly conversation, hands not tied, and she's just walking down there with me, or with that other guy. Made my
Laughing and
stomach
making
drop,
jokes,
made my stomach sick. Are you freaking kidding me right now? So here's the beautiful thing. Once they find this info out, Jennifer doesn't know that her dad's come out of,
Oh, really?
she doesn't,
Yeah,
she
okay.
might know that he's come out of coma, but she doesn't know that he's talked to the
Yeah.
police yet. So in Canada, here's the coolest thing about Canada that I found out today. FYI, it is okay for the police to lie in Canada. The police can lie to you.
Can they not lie here?
Apparently not. It's called coercion or something like that. I'm not even going to play like I understand it because
But
I'm sure.
in Canada, they can lie to you.
But in Canada, the police can lie to you. There's still some certain things they have to, the guidelines they have to follow. But so they bring in this specialty guy that, first of all, he knows about lying people, and he's good at. Get this lie that he tells Jennifer. He says, Jennifer, look, we got satellites in the sky, right? So, everybody knows we got satellites. The government's watching us. Everybody's watching us. He's like, Jennifer, we can put those satellites on your house. Now, you're telling me that blah, blah, blah was upstairs. He was over here. You were over here. They were somewhere downstairs. Do you know that those things are like, we can see movement in that house. So we know who was where, and your story's not adding up to who was where. Basically, he told that girl the satellite was an X-ray. Like, he could see through your house, inside it. I don't know if he's saying heat,
I
something,
probably would have fell for it, too.
and,
if she did.
because he told it like it was, and she just, like, her head drops, and she is freaking out now. Head drops, and she's not saying a word, and she starts whispering something. He's like, what are you saying? I can't understand you. What's going on? Jennifer, you need to tell me what's going on right now. So she says they got it all wrong. They were supposed to come in and unalive me because of what I've done. I feel so bad about everything. They were supposed to come in and do it to me,
But,
not to my parents.
like,
I'm
okay.
like, what? Who was supposed to do this? And she goes, Homeboy. Homie is what we call it. And we're like, what? Homeboy? Homie? So the police immediately know that basically we have to get our phone. We have to get our phone. So there's a, they've still got to go and get the search warrant to be able to go through her phone. So they go and get that immediately. They see a text thread between her and Danny. And she is basically like, she's asking Danny, do you still love me? Do you still love me? And he's like, no, the way you love me, Danny's saying, the way you love me, that's how I love Christine now. I don't love you anymore. And she's like, okay, well, do we still know what's going to go on? And you can see it start to lead into this about that night. So basically,
Wait, so did she want Danny to do it?
no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. She asked Danny if he still loves her. He says no. He loves Christine. So then she says that she called it off with Homeboy, and we don't really, she's like, well, I didn't really want to unalive myself, blah, 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 blah. Danny's pissed and said, I've already set this thing
so
in motion.
Danny set it up for her, though?
There it is.
So her ex-boyfriend, because she wanted him, or she wanted him to, though?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So
Okay,
Danny said, look,
That's crazy.
I can't call this off.
Yeah.
I can't call this off. I've already lined it up for you. You contact Homeboy because I can't do it. And Homeboy texted her and said, it's go time.
So no.
There is no calling it off. So police were able to link all three from her phone. Homeboy, her, Danny, all three of them had and Jennifer's still trying to stick to her unaliving herself story, basically.
Like saying that they were coming there to.
I wanted them to come and do that to me, not to my parents.
Yeah, that's
not to my parents.
Yeah, like that makes a lot of sense.
So immediately, Jennifer is arrested for murder for murder and conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder. Because remember, so she's coercive, so that's the conspiracy. Attempted murder is on her dad because he survived.
Okay.
And then, of course, murder because her mom unfortunately did not make it. So here's the deal. What's really crazy about this whole thing, too, is they found a diary after they arrested her, Jennifer, and found a diary. And the only negative thing in her diary about her parents, because you would think if you had all this done to...
Your parents you would have to at least
there would be so much stuff. The only bad thing she could say in there is my parents would not basically let me date Danny because he's a drug dealer. That's it. And then everything else was
so
about,
sad.
Christine, Danny, girl things, high school, just stuff.
Like the main thing that she's mad is just that they protected her from Danny.
Protected her from Danny. And then, of course, she's in this...
That's so sad, the person that...
She's in this 4-year lie,
yeah, literally,
too.
Like the person that her parents wanted to protect her from... She has killed her parents.
Think about that.
That's just so twisted and sad.
Now,
horrible.
So it's kind of, and I'm sitting here asking myself, Danny, what are you even trying to do? Because you're not even interested in her anymore. Why are you?
Why were you even trying? Or why
are you the middleman?
Yeah.
Why are you the middleman?
Risk your whole life too for this.
And it said Jennifer was set to, get probably about $500,000 in assets from her parents. I mean, all this for $500,000. I don't care how much money; it doesn't matter. But that's what they said. And so they're thinking Danny thought, $500,000, I can get my hands on a little bit of this because I've helped you get it, So that's basically where they have him tied in at. Here's the other thing too. They also found out 10 months before this murder took place and the attempted murder took place, she had offered $2,000 for another person to commit this for her. So, 10 months before this happened, she reached out to someone else to try and have this done.
That's so sad. What is going on? Your parents are obviously...
Exactly.
Not...
Exactly. I mean, she...
Okay, yeah, you got, excessively grounded. That was, okay. But, all because your parents wanted to protect you, they still all these, even though you should still have your car after you're 18 and be able to drive yourself, but, they still drove you every day,
She chose a guy that didn't even want her.
Yeah, literally.
Chose a guy that didn't even want her. And so here's what they get.
Yeah, okay, your life ended up really great. That's what you wanted out of that?
Yeah.
How else did you think that would go?
How,
I'm so
how else
confused.
was it going to go?
Yeah.
How else was it going to go?
Did you just want to ruin your life? I'm really confused.
So Jennifer and Daniel and the three others, they all got life. They cannot be considered for parole for 25 years. Here's the sad thing about this. You got a dad still alive in all this. It's lost his mom.
That's so sad.
Basically lost his daughter, and he was granted...
lost his wife, yeah.
Yep. He was granted a lifetime, which this is really sad to me. He was granted a lifetime no contact order against his daughter. Can you imagine? He put out my daughter cannot contact me for life.
That's so sad.
It's horrible. Horrible. Now, here's what's really crazy is following a successful appeal after all this, So they got 25 years with no chance for parole. But after that, they had a successful appeal against their conviction for the first degree murder of her mom. And so there was a new trial. And the way they got that was because they didn't present the jury with all of the possibilities that she could get. I guess there was other things that she could have got. You know, I don't know, because she didn't actually probably pull the trigger.
Yeah.
There were things that she could have got, and they didn't present the jury with that. But since then,
So since they were like, since you didn't present them with these, like, we get to do this.
we got a mistrial. So then the prosecution also said, no, we're going to appeal that too. So there were so many appeals going on. And all this, I think, was in 2023. I think the new trial started, the appeal trial, since they won that, started in October. And it looks like her conviction of the attempted murder on her dad that was upheld. The prosecutors also filed, like I said, the appeal. It got very confusing. So I still, I believe that the conviction is, but it's still confusing. So if anybody knows what's going on with this now, would definitely like to hear.
Let us know. Let us know your thoughts on this whole. That's a very crazy, sad.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Jennifer Pan is guilty.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, I think it's everyone's opinion.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you're getting off on technicalities for right now. I don't know how long that will last by any means. And it may be over, but there's just, it's really confusing when you start to go down the rabbit trail on that. But check it out, man. And it just goes to show, golly, talk to your parents. Don't lie to your parents like that. I mean, a 4-year university lie.
It's crazy.
That is nuts. Obviously, even if you did that, still, you can still make that right. We don't have to off the parents by, because we can't just sit down and tell our parents, I made a big time mistake.
Or because your parents want to protect you from what's not good for you.
From what's not good for you. Yeah. So, anyways, let us know what you think. Definitely always up for that. And, man, we will see you guys next time. Do better.